After going political and experimental on Witness and spending some time on herself, her relationship with her husband Orlando Bloom, and starting a family, Katy Perry is finally back with a new album, Smile. The lead up to the era wasn't exactly smooth. I'm still not quite sure what the first single was supposed to be. Never Really Over and a few other droplets released last year before she announced Daisies as the lead single earlier this year. Despite the fact that Katy is no longer the charting force that she used to be last decade, she's actually given us her all in terms of quarantine performances. They've all been world-class brilliant, and the album's finally arrived, so now I'm gonna dig into it. Never Really Over is still one of her strongest songs to date. It is a favorite of mine that deserves way more and should have been promoted way better. I've spoken at length at how much I really love this song, but I can't put into words just how wonderful the song is, from the repetition to the production to everything. The music video still remains one of my favorite music videos from last year. Cry About It Later is the second song on the album, and the second song of the initial 3 Heartbreak trilogy. I like to think of this album as 4 different trilogies. The song is really catchy and more in line with her older tracks, very slick instrumental, brilliant chorus. It's a very strong single choice contender. The bridge here is stellar. It feels like a track from the Prism era, but a little bit more polished, with the guitar harkening back to her One of the Boys sound. The vocals here are a serve. It's definitely in my top 3. Teary Eyes is another bop. It sounds like a Witness track, kind of a follow-up to Mind Maze. It's throwbacky as well in that I feel like this could have smashed a few years ago. The layering of the vocals in the background are next level, but the lyrics feel a little bit lacking. I just realized I never really reacted to Daisies, which is the lead single off this album. I'm not quite sure if that made sense as a single choice, but it's really cute, very adult contemporary. Some of the vocals on this track remain some of her best to date. I just really liked how innovative she was with the promotion of this track, and I wish it'd done a little bit better on the charts. I think this is the direction her music is going to lean towards in the future, along with a few safe bops here and there. Also, I find it really cute that she named her daughter Daisy Dove Bloom after this track. It's just really cute. I consider Daisies to be one of 3 songs in the Inspirational trilogy, which consist of Daisies, Resilient, and Not the End of the World. The first 3 tracks, Never Really Over, Cry About It Later, and Teary Eyes, are the Heartbroken trilogy in my books. Resilient is a little bit odd for me. I need some time for the song to properly grow on me. I feel like she was trying to make the chorus work, but the balance of the syllables feels a little bit off if you listen to the chorus deeply. The instrumental seems to fight against her here, and I don't think it was an artistic contrast. The biggest flaw for this track for me definitely has to be the mixing of the background vocals. It's a little bit too aggressive here, but the messaging of the song is on point. I'm taken back to the back half of Prism with this track. Not the End of the World is a banger, but it definitely sounds dated. It feels like a track that belongs to the 2010s era. The instrumental definitely reminds me of Black Widow, which she actually wrote many years ago and gave away to Rita Ora and Iggy Azalea. That being said, I definitely want to see this one live. I like the pre-chorus more on this track than the proper chorus itself. The sampling of Goodbye on here is brilliant. I could see this playing on Selling Sunset, which I binged the other day. It's this Netflix show about realtors in LA. For those of you who've watched it, isn't Davina totally a snake? I don't trust her ass. The next 3 tracks of the album I like to dub the Happy Bops section. Smile, I already did a reaction to this track. I still believe that this is the most commercial track off the record. I've actually been seeing it in a bunch of ads for Target. The lyrics are cheesy, the instrumental just works, the chorus is very cute. I actually really like the visuals that she's given forward for the track. Definitely still one of my favorites. Now, Champagne Problems, that track is fresh for me. I like the interplay that she has with the instrumental, how the verses and the pre-chorus feel in tune with the track. The strings here are really playful, and it feels like a duo track off Future Nostalgia, and that's because of Ian Kirkpatrick, who produced this one. Ian just knows how to really bring out the strengths of anyone he collaborates with, and Katy's no different here. This is the last of my top 3, consisting of Never Really Over, Cry About It Later, and now Champagne Problems. The strings at the end are just too much fun. I love that last chorus. Talk just missed the cut by a little bit. I think this song is so much fun. It feels like a lost cut from the Teenage Dream days. The instrumental is lush, the chorus is fizzy, it's playful and flirty. I was so tempted to put this in my personal top 3, but it's just too on the nose for me. It's like an algorithm made the song for all the aging pop gays who just miss the old days. All that being said, I definitely would love to see this get the single treatment or some sort of visual down the line. I just really like how the song is about her tucking away a fantasy of someone for later. It's just really relatable and sweet and cute. In terms of trilogies, the last trilogy on the album, the last 3 songs, I like to consider the contentment and happiness and appreciation of love section of the album. Harley's in Hawaii, this track is a year old and it has grown on me. You can still tell that it's a Charlie Puth co-write, but it's very immaculate. The chorus just goes down so smooth. The music video is still gorgeous. That very last chorus is one of Katy's most stunning moments as a vocalist. One thing that I didn't appreciate about this track was the release strategy. Dropping this in the middle of fall last year is a disgrace to the summer jam that this track is. Only Love is another corny inspirational love song. There are many on this album, but this one is amongst my favorites. It just narrowly missed my top 3, and this track started to remind me of Natasha Bedingfield's underrated Strip Me, which came out 10 years ago, in that all the songs are airy, inspirational, and about love, but the album doesn't seem to have much weight. This specific track feels like a Prism deep cut to me. It is a solid mid-tempo pop track. Perfect wine mom music in my opinion. The only love hook is an earworm. The closing track of the album and the final in this last trilogy of tracks is What Makes a Woman, and I like the harkening back of her roots. It feels like very early Katy, like pre-pop Katy, with the guitar, the tender vocals. I'd love an album like this next time around. I sort of think that this is the music that she will evolve towards. This sounds like a track that would play during a Netflix rom-com where the main character rediscovers her self-worth while the guy realizes that he's screwed up. The only downside is how abrupt the track ends. Like, I didn't expect it to end so quickly. I was able to get my hands on a Target version of the album, so I'm gonna cover High on Your Supply. It is a bonus track. I understand why it was cut. This one's another banger. I wish it had been kept in, but there's a balance of 3 tracks per 4 sections, keeping it at 12, which makes sense to me. And also, this track doesn't seem to have the weight the other tracks have. Overall, I don't really agree with the critics exactly. I've been seeing that this album has been getting mixed reception. People say that she's gotten stale or that she's playing it way too safe, but these are the same people and publications who fought her on Witness, so criticizing her for overcorrection just feels like a mean hack job. Some of these reviews are just straight up mean. They mention Taylor Swift for no reason, despite the fact that she has little to nothing to do with the conception, production, or any of this album at all. I will say that I wish that this album had a little bit more variety here and there, but it is a solid collection of well done hits. There is just a lack of gravitas that she's missing here. There is an energy to some of the tracks, including Never Really Over, that isn't on other tracks, and I wish that had been on all the tracks. But all in all, I'd say that this is a solid pop record, not her best album, not her worst, neither a regression backwards nor a leap forwards. It's for the fans and for herself. 7.8 out of 10. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what your favorite tracks were. I feel like you guys have completely different favorite tracks, and I'm curious to see why you like certain tracks. All in all, what do you think about Katy's album? And like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want more of these videos. I'm going to be live more often playing games with you guys. I can't wait for that. Another shout out to my members. I am so grateful to you guys, and I'll see you again very soon.